Okay, I think that worked. Sort of. Am I? Okay, I think we're live on the internet. Yes. Hello, internet. Tiffany Concrud, because we just got back from Essen. So, some folks have been interested in solo playthroughs, and Tiffany is currently asleep on the couch covered in animals, so I thought this might be a good time to do a solitaire playthrough. So there's a prototype that I've been let me check Twitter, see if this tweeted. Okay, it didn't tweet. How do I tweet it? Or do I just do the link? Technical things, hold on. Let me get the... Hey Kai, hey Joanna. Sorry this is running late. Streaming is really hard. Getting all this set up. I'm actually used to Tiffany doing all of it, so... I have a little bit better appreciation for all of that. Alright, do a tweet. Do I link to a specific video, or do I just do the gaming.youtube.com?
The gaming one.
/live?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to be teaching this too, and I'll post a link to the rules in the print and play if folks are interested. The rules are still in progress, but I've got enough of them up there, so I'll go through that. Alright, I have sent a tweet. So many things to do. Okay. Alright. Okay, so... did my OBS switch? Oops, my OBS switch. Okay. On the live mode. Sorry, teething things. Okay. I think I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so let me back up a bit. There's a prototype that I've been working on since... Loud dog is drinking all the water. There's a prototype I've been working on since 2014, which is a solitaire game in which you, the player, are flying a spaceship around a future solar system, buying and selling goods, and trying not to get blown up by pirates. It's called Hand Solo. You can play it in your hand without really needing much of a table space. I designed it partly so you could play it while like waiting in line or being on the train or whatnot. And it's solo because you can play it solitaire. I used to play a lot more solo games before Tiffany and I met. A lot of times I'd play two-player games solo or play games that were specifically solo. So I like playing solitaire games. Some people really do, some people really don't. So I thought it might be interesting to stream one. So let me... Stream health is okay. All right, great. It's been a little dodgy before. So I'll kind of give the gist of the game. Let me also include this board mode. I put a sheet down because with the black table and these incredibly white prototype cards, with these super white prototype cards, the white balance was freaking out. Let's see, so I'm centered here. The white balance was freaking out, so like every time I lifted the cards up, they would go totally 100% white, and then when more of the table was showing they'd go white, and then I'd lift them up, and then they'd be visible. So this sheet was my like running around trying to find something to work. Okay, so in Hand Solo, you are the pilot of a spaceship, which is represented by one of these cards. You can see right here, there's that little, and it's autofocus. Sorry for the autofocus. You're basically piloting a ship, and it has some statistics. Basically, how resilient it is, how fast it can go, how good it is at fighting, and how much cargo it can carry. Primarily, Han Solo is a game about buying goods low and selling them at high prices, and there's other stuff mixed into that. So how much cargo you can carry and how likely you are to get blown up are sort of the most important parts of your ship. If bad things happen to your ship, the ship also is sort of an indicator of whether it's damaged. So if it's damaged, you'd flip it. And if at any point it becomes illegal, you'd flip it to this illegal side. So it can be either damaged or illegal or not at all. So to start out, we just have this really basic 10 credit shuttle. We're going to start off with that. The game is played in our future solar system. So there are 9 starports. Sort of scattered about. So, you've got Earth and the Moon. Is it doing the... No, it's doing the focus thing again. Is this ever going to stop? Hold on. Sorry, technical things. All right, one sec. So you're running around the solar system. There are 9 sort of planets and or moons that you can run into. Okay, let's just... Okay, autofocus is off and we are back in business. Okay, so there's sort of these 9 starports we're going to be going to. They all have markets, so you can buy goods low, sell them high. In addition, there are contacts we can encounter. So say there are pirates, merchants, and Federation ships, basically cops. In addition, we can also make any of these angry. So you can see sort of this black border. They're angry at us. So an angry merchant becomes a mercenary who's coming after you. An angry Federation turns into basically a bigger, badder ship, and so does an angry pirate. The goal of the game is to retire after our up to 30-year career with the most credits, and also with the most notoriety. So notoriety is represented, or the most renown. Renown is represented by cards in the deck being flipped over. So starports start out neutral to you and can be flipped to the friendly side by either giving them goods they want or completing contracts for them. And contacts can be flipped from this neutral side where they don't really care if you live or die to this hostile side where they really don't want you around. So our final score at the end of the game is going to be our credits times our renown, which is how many cards are flipped in the deck. So there are 18 cards in the deck, so your maximum score is basically however many credits you can earn times the number of flipped cards. So the way the game is played is every time we go through this 18 card deck, it's going to be 1 year, and we are going to track our year on, here it is. Let's see. We're going to track our year on this little tracker. And somewhere, I think I'm going to have to cannibalize another copy. Hopefully it should show up on stream, but basically every time we go through a year, we're going to advance the counter on this track. So we're going to start at year 1 and go forward. I'm not going to make it all the way to year 30, I'll tell you that. And then we're going to start with 10 credits. In terms of what that can buy, completely replacing this shuttle would cost 10 credits. I don't know, maybe they're 10 mega credits or something. And then we can also take loans out. Every time you take a loan out, it's another 10 credits. So 10 credits is a decent amount of money. Other things we can do, we can buy new ships. So there's sort of a little shipyard I'll have here. And we can also upgrade our current ship. I think rather than totally explain everything, probably better just to explain these cards as I go. The main thing we need to do in the game is at the end of the year, every ship has fees, which are like insurance and fuel and stuff like that you have to pay. If you can't pay, you have to either retire or take out a loan. Take out a loan from the loan shark. So it's sort of the main tension in the game is you need to at least make enough money to cover your costs. So if we get a larger, more expensive ship, we're also going to have to pay more fees every year. So the basic career, we can go up to 30 years. We start with the shuttle. We have 10 credits. We don't have a loan, and nobody starts angry at us. So first thing I'm going to do is shuffle the space deck. For lack of a better term, it's called the space deck because it has both starports and contacts in space that you encounter. So space deck is probably a better term for this. Let's see. So these cards are just going to stay out. If I was playing in a situation where I didn't have a table, they'd maybe be like in a pocket or on some sort of flat surface or something. Usually when I play, if I'm just by myself, I keep track of credits just in my head until the end of the year. And then the year, I only really touch at the end of the year. And then loans, I just tuck the card into the deck somewhere. So I've shuffled this. The first card that came up is this Federation Enforcer. There's really tiny text on these cards, but it says he attacks if I have an illegal ship or cargo unless I pay the fine and discard it. I don't have an illegal ship or cargo. There's nothing else I can do here, so I'm going to discard this by just moving it to the back of the deck. And then I run into a pirate. The pirate attacks if I have any valuable cargo unless I discard all valuable cargo. So he doesn't really care about what you're carrying unless it's valuable. Nothing I can... Oh, so in either case, I could have attacked him. His statistics are higher than mine. We're both about the same speed, and his combat is 3 and -1, so it is unlikely... it's unlikely I'd win. If I did, I'd get a bounty shown here. So I'm going to discard him. Alright, so I've reached Earth. Okay, so I'll run over starport cards. On the right side of the card, oh geez, this is tiny. There's a market, and it shows all the prices for 6 of the goods. And there's, oh darn, I turned the autofocus off. Basically, there's an up arrow if it's a higher than average price, and there's a down arrow if it's a lower than average price. So when I hit this starport, I can either decide to land or bypass it. So there's this market that tells me the base prices of the goods before I land. Once I land, there's a chance the good prices will go up or down. There's also a contract at the bottom, which once I've landed, I can decide to accept. And then in the corner down here, it says what I would need to do to flip the card to its friendly side, which is gonna... Puppy cam. Puppy cam is pretty exciting right now. We really need to add that puppy cam. So on the lower right, that's what I would need to do to flip it to the friendly side. So I can complete this. If I complete this contract, I can choose to either take the payout or flip the card to friendly. Or if I just straight up deliver to CN, which is contraband goods. So instead of selling them and taking the profit, I just deliver them to the starport and then they'll like me. A friendly starport has better prices, higher and lower. It also changes this good to an advanced good, which at certain starports will sell for a really high price, and also it'll add to my score at the end of the game. So if I land, I'm going to visit the market. So let's do that. This has a market size of 3. So I'm going to splay out 3 cards. And then it's clear enough to see. Thanks, Brian. Okay, so along the left side of the cards are goods that I can buy. I don't have any goods to sell. If I did, I'd have to sell all the goods that I wanted before buying goods. So in the lower left, there are also these 3 price modifiers, 1 on each good. You never look at the price modifier on the starport itself. You only look at the ones that are revealed. So first thing that I'm going to do is look through these and figure out if I want to buy anything. So for example, I'll look and see if any of these are low. So fuel is low. There's a fuel here. Industrial goods are high. Tech is low. And then food is high. So the only ones I would want to buy are maybe fuel or high-tech goods. Zeno, do you need to go outside? This is the benefits of having 2 streamers. One streamer can hang out while the other lets the dog out. Okay, so I could buy tech, which is low, and it's currently 5 credits, so this is letting me know it's lower than average. But this modifier says it's actually 5 higher, so tech is actually 10. Ichi, what are you looking? Oh, did you... Hold on. She's licking something she shouldn't have. Never a dull moment. Okay. All right. Okay, back to the market. So the next candidate for buying stuff would be fuel. There's nothing boosting up the price of fuel, and it's 3 credits. So I'm going to go ahead and buy 1 unit of fuel. Oops. Sorry, my ship slid down there. So I have... Add more dogs. That's right, Brian. I want to add more dogs. Yeah, the dog to person ratio right now is 2 dogs to 1 person. So 3 dog. Why not 3 dogs to 1 person? So the cargo on the statistic on my ship for cargo is 2, which means I can hold 2 cards of cargo, and the size of those cargo holds is 1 because there's only 1 box here. If I had a different ship, say the hauler, now this is kind of tiny, it can also hold 2 cards of cargo, but each cargo hold is 3, so there's 3 boxes. So if I was buying a unit of fuel, I'd pay 3 times the price, and it would sell for 3 times the price. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and buy the fuel. So once I've figured out what I want to buy, then I can actually buy the cards by moving them into my cargo hold. So the fuel is 3. This is the only thing I'm going to buy. Put that there. Go down 3 credits, and then I'm going to discard all the cards that I saw. The market size on Earth was 3, so it means I revealed 3 cards. But that also means my year is going to be shorter because I'm not going to encounter those cards because I sort of burn them up by seeing them in the market. So one of the things about Han Solo is you don't have any control over the cards that you see next, because you're flying around the solar system and there's optimal paths based on the orbits of the planets, and you're spending kind of months at a time. You're sort of encountering different ports of call. I'm not going to say at random, but this doesn't fully simulate the orbital mechanics, so we'll just say that it's determined by the orbital mechanics. Okay, so I've reached Phobos. Phobos is a refining starport, which means that fuel tends to be low, and things that you refine into fuel, like minerals, are going to be high. So because I have fuel, I might want to buy fuel. Now, some of the starports will always sell a certain type of good. So Phobos, I can always buy fuel because that's the top card. So the other cards in the market are going to be random, but I know I can always buy fuel. So because I have enough money to probably afford it, I'm going to visit it. Market size 1 means there's less volatility, but also less stuff that you can buy. Okay, so okay, the dog needs to go out. I will pause. Pause. That I see. That was a joke, unintentional joke. I need like a please stand by overlay. The dog will probably start barking. She hasn't been home for about a week. She's been hanging out with a friend of ours. So my guess is there will be something in the back that will lead her to bark. Or maybe she will just hang out at the door and stare at me. Okay, so looks like I kind of struck out because fuel down here in the lower right, lower left, is going to be 3 credits higher. So even though I wanted to buy this fuel for cheap, it's actually going to be 6 credits. Okay, it was Itchy that barked. Hey, inside. You know. Okay. Tiffany and I have talked actually about doing solo streams, but with 2 of us. So one person is kind of running chat and answering questions, and the other person is working on the game. I think doing solitaire streams with 2 people is good when there are 2 dogs. Okay, so probably a dumb idea to buy the fuel because it's expensive. The other thing I can do is accept this contract with incredibly tiny text. One thing is, when I was doing these prototype cards, I thought this font, which is the same font that like the old Mac operating system used, was cool, and it's totally not readable at a small font size. But would be such a big production to redo it all that I'm waiting until like a future graphic design refresh to change the font. But it makes me sad every time I see it. So the contract here is a bulk delivery to any Federation starport, and there's 4 Federation starports in the game. The question mark means it would completely fill up my cargo hold, which means I would have to just dump or sell my fuel to accept it. Okay, dog almost pulled the lights down. Okay, so not going to take the contract, not going to buy or sell anything. The only other thing I can buy is minerals, and they are 5 credits, which is super high because it's a refining starport. They totally want to totally want to buy minerals. So just going to discard everything. The other thing I can do here, it says services repair. I could repair my ship if I wanted to, but it's not damaged. So discard everything. I've reached Mars. Let's see, doing a quick look at the market. Fuel is just kind of an average price. And then there's this contract to do a delivery to any Rebel system, which would pay me 11 credits. Now, the thing you have to do when you accept a contract from a starport is put a deposit down, so that if you lose the cargo, you just won't get your deposit back. It's, I'm not going to say depressing, but it's sort of like the financial reality, right? Like, even though there's insurance and whatever, like, you're not totally trusted because you're just an independent contractor. So you have to put this deposit down. The cargo isn't valuable or illegal, so it's not super risky, but if something else bad happened to my ship, I could lose it. In any case, because fuel is just an average price, I'm just going to discard it. I'm going to try to find somewhere where fuel is a high price. One thing, actually, in this version, errata-wise, which I have in the rules, fuel is valuable, even though it's not marked on the card. That was just kind of a balance change. So if I do run into any pirates, they're going to want to just take the fuel, and I'll either have to try to run or just give them the fuel. Okay, Ganymede. Ganymede is a refining planet with a market size of 2. So the good that's currently for sale is industrial goods. So there's, if I land, there's a chance that I'll get more fuel. So I'm actually going to do that. So I'm going to land, and I did not get any fuel. I got food and minerals and industrial goods. Industrial goods are also valuable, so again, also risky to take. The more cargo you take, the slower you are. My speed right now is 3, which is maybe average-ish, but because I have one of my cargo holds is full, it's 1 lower. If I buy these industrial goods, which would probably be a bad idea, my speed would go down to 1, which would make it even less likely that I could escape successfully. But they are 5 credits, so let's go ahead and buy them. A good rule of thumb in this game is don't spend money that you can't afford to lose. And because it's early in the game, basically I shouldn't be spending this much money. But let's buy the industrial goods for 5, discard everything else, and then we've hit Europa. Europa, fuel is expensive, it's 7 credits. Industrial goods are cheap. It's an industrial planet, so they produce industrial goods. And one of the things they need are fuel and high-tech goods, so those prices are high. Also, the last item in every market is the price of the advanced good that starport wants. So Europa really wants advanced fuel, but I can only ever buy advanced fuel once I've flipped other starports to their friendly side, and then I can start buying it. So let's land and try to sell our fuel. Okay, so this is an incredibly unlucky run for me. Fuel is now 3 lower. So this fuel that I was going to sell for 7 is actually only going to sell for 4, and I bought it for 3, so that's silly. But industrial goods are 4 higher, so they're cheap here at 4 credits, but it's going to boost them by 4, so that would boost them actually to 8. So I'm just going to say, whatever, I've spent a whole bunch of time doing this, I'm going to sell both of them. So I'm going to sell the fuel for 3, I'm going to sell the industrial goods for 8, so that'll make me 11, so I am at a grand total of 13 credits. So I'm going to have to pay 5 at the end of the year, and I might not even break even. But sell both of those, I'm going to discard them to the back of the deck. I'm going to see if I want to buy anything. Let's see. So contraband goods are illegal, not valuable though. So this is interesting. Basically small smuggled contraband goods that pirates can't detect. So pirates don't really care if you have them. You know, they're using their cargo scanners to look at your big stuff. But the Federation will be able to scan it. So if you are trafficking in contraband goods, the pirates won't really care, but the feds will. But they're only 8 credits. So even though this is kind of a risk, I can, depending if I want a card count, either in my head or looking through the discard, if I know that I've seen Federation already, there's only so many in the deck, so I can kind of take the risk, like, oh, I've already seen both of the Fed cards, so I'll at least be safe until the end of the year to have illegal goods. So I'm going to go ahead and buy these for 8, taking a risk so I can actually make some money, discard these other 2, go down to 5 credits. And then discard the rest, which I did. Okay, so I've hit a fuel merchant. He will buy and sell fuel for 5, which is actually better than the price that I got when I sold those other ones. He also has a contract to do a delivery to any Federation planet. When merchants give you contracts, you don't have to pay a deposit, but if you lose the goods or discard them for any reason, you'll actually flip the merchant to a mercenary side, and they're going to hunt you down and try to get their money back. I can also attack this merchant, and if I do and I'm successful, I'll get 2 random cargo if I want to be a pirate. Now, because I have cargo in my hold and my speed is slower, if I did want to attack him, I'd have to catch him first, so you basically only want to do your piracy when your hold is empty, so you're not having that negative speed. Now I'm going to discard them. Another merchant, this one actually buys and sells contraband goods for 10. I don't have 10, but just for the heck of it, I can actually take out a loan, and the loan would give me 10 credits. So let's, just for the heck of it, let's do that. So I'm going to take out a loan. That's going to bump me up to 15. And then I'm going to buy this for 10 and then go back down to 5. So now my cargo hold is 2. If I run into a Fed, I'm probably out of luck. And then again, another merchant buys and sells tech for 9, and then he wants to do a rush delivery to Earth. Rush deliveries have to be done before the end of the year, otherwise you discard it and fail the contract. Given that the deck is basically almost empty, I probably don't want to do that. I probably don't want to attack him with a hold full of illegal goods. So discard him. Because I'm back to this ship card, that means the year is over. So I'm going to set my ship and these cards aside and go through the year-end step. First, it's the loan shark. Either I have to pay off the balance of my loan in full, or flip the next mercenary card in the deck to the hostile side, which is basically you didn't pay up on your debt. Some folks are going to come after you and try to claim it. So I don't only have 5 credits. I can't pay off my loan in full. So I'm going to go find the merchant that says rank 1, which is this courier, and flip him to the hostile side. Then I'm going to pay my fees. Luckily, I have exactly 5 credits, so I can pay them and go down to 0. Otherwise, I would have had to take out another loan. I can also, this is a rule I've been going back and forth on, I can also choose not to pay my yearly fees and then flip my ship to the illegal side. So if you're already illegal, you can always just decide not to pay your fees, but then every Fed you encounter is going to be angry. There's also some starports that have a legal service that you can pay to make your ship legal again. But you have the option to say, instead of taking a loan, just not pay your fees and take the consequences. So I'm not going to retire, which puts me to year 2. And I have no money, I'm in debt, and I have a hold full of illegal goods. So probably the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to encounter a Federation ship, and then I will cry, because I don't even have enough money without going further into debt to pay the fine that I would have to pay on these illegal goods. Alright. Yeah, I think I like the idea of there being a second person on a solo stream, if nothing else, because there are 2 dogs. Okay, shuffled this, putting my ship card back in the back of my deck, putting the goods back into my hold. Okay, so I've hit Titan. Titan is a hive of scum and villainy. It is a outlaw government. It's all the way out in the furthest reaches of the solar system. It has a market size of 2, and it's an extraction type economy. So minerals are really cheap, food is really expensive, and contraband goods are expensive. Presumably they're made here. The contract is to do a blockade run to Luna, so that's an illegal contract. I need to go to a specific planet, so I'd have to get to it in the deck. But I'd get a whopping 17 credits. However, the deposit is 18, so I'd have to go 20 credits into debt just to get the deposit, to get this contract, to hope I get to Luna with illegal cargo. Bad idea. Also, contraband goods are cheap here, and I have a hold full of them. So, and I paid, let's see, 10 for one, and I think 8 for the other. So I don't want to stop here. And of course, Federation Enforcers. So, just sort of giving up would be, I don't know if that would be smart. Attacks if you have illegal ship or cargo, unless you pay the fine and discard your illegal ship and or cargo. So let's do combat. Combat, so similarly to the market, you splay the cards to the right to reveal market. Combat, you go down. So there's these combat modifiers in the top of the cards. We're going to reveal one of these numbers is going to tell us if whoever is running away successfully escapes. The second number, if somebody hasn't escaped, is going to tell us who wins the, dogfighty, swooshy space combat. Yeah, so it's just, we're going to reveal 2 numbers, and then there's also a hits number in the lower corner of this that we're going to reveal. Brian asks, why 30 years? I think, yeah, the 30-year career was just because I think it's a career. Presumably the players may be starting in their, 20s. The idea is, I guess, because each time through the deck is a full year, it felt nice to have an upper limit of the game around 30 rounds, basically. I think 30 is long for an extended game, so I'd like to see a starting setup that's 10 years or 12 years or something. I tried it for a little while where each time through the deck was a month, and the game was 12 months, so 1 year, and that actually felt too short when you just wanted to play an extended one. Okay, so the other thing on this card, in addition to that fine of 5 credits, is what happens at the end of combat. So if it's peaceful, which is, say, I pay the fine and surrender the cargo, this ship's going to stand on its neutral side. Victory, which means I defeat him, he's going to flip to the hostile side. Defeat, which is he defeats me, it'll stay on the neutral side. Presumably, I got defeated and sent to space jail, so it's fine. And if I get away, he stays on the neutral side. However, and it's not on the cards because the rule was added since these cards were done. If I evade, I'm actually going to flip my ship to the illegal side. So that'll cause me future problems. But I really have no option other than to run away. No financially responsible option. So I'm going to reveal the first card. Okay, so my current speed is 1, because it's 3 here, and I have 2 cargo in my hold. This modifier says that I add -0, so I add 0 to my speed. So my speed is still 1. I'm going to compare that to the Enforcer's speed of 4. His speed is greater than or equal, so he has caught me. Now that I've been caught, I have 2 options. I can either surrender now. Now, if I surrender now, these hits are still gonna be applied to my ship. I have a hull of 2, and there's 2 hits here, so I wouldn't be blown up, but my ship would be damaged. So I can sort of decide, okay, it's not worth it, you've caught me, I can surrender, I'm not going to get away unscathed, or I can try to actually do shooty space laser combat. I really don't want to surrender, because space jail is a horrible place, so I'm going to reveal the next card. Okay, the next card is a -3. So -3 is going to be added to my combat of 1. So my combat is at -2, and the Federation Enforcers is at 4. His is higher, so he wins combat. Because he wins combat, both of these hit numbers that are here are going to be compared to my hull. So it's basically this like bell curve distribution. So 4 versus my 2, it's greater than it, so it means my ship is totaled. I wouldn't say destroyed, because we don't actually die, but I'm defeated. So I'm going to discard my cargo, and I'm going to look at how over my hull it was. So it was 4 against 2, so that's 2 extra hits. So if you imagine the damage was so severe that I'm actually going to spend 2 years like in the hospital, floating in space, waiting to get rescued. So it actually bumps my career up by 2 years. And then the year ends. So I'm going to shuffle the deck. So I have 3 options now. One is that I can just retire. If I retired, I have no credits and I'm in debt. And my ship is gone. So my score would be credits plus the trade-in of my ship. I don't have a ship. Minus loans, -10, times the number of hostile contacts and friendly starports. So the only card in the deck that's either hostile or friendly is mercenary. So that's 1. So -10. So my score would just be a straight -10. The reason it goes negative is the idea is if you're in debt and you're highly renowned, either if people really like you, it doesn't look that great, so you get a low score, or if people really hate you and you have no money, that's also a bad thing. Say if everybody hated me and I retired with a lot of money, I'd have enough money to have a nice cushy retirement where I wouldn't have to constantly be worried about getting sent into the vacuum. So I don't really want to retire. So I can replace my ship, pay the deductible on my ship, or retire. So the shuttle is unique in that the cost of a new one is also the cost of the deductible that I would have to pay to get a new one. So it's basically your really junky car, where the deductible you'd have to pay to the insurance company is kind of just what you would pay for a new junky car. I'm going to pay the 10 credits. Conveniently, 10 credits is 1 more loan. So I'm now 20 credits in debt. I get a new ship. I advance the year to 5. Shuffle this again. And then I'm going to take out a 3rd loan because I have no money at all. And I want to have some money to be able to, buy space things. So this is basic. If I can't actually make some money to crawl out of this hole, yeah. Oh, also, the loan shark. So I couldn't pay my loan in full when I was still at 10 credits. So I'm going to flip the next rank of ship hostile. So this is the rank 2 one. This is the green mercenary. I think the other one was a rookie. They get significantly meaner from there. Yeah, so I have a rookie and a green mercenary coming after me, who basically I can either bribe them or try to run away and fight them. Okay, so shuffled, year 5. So I've only actually been through the deck, twice? And already I've gotten 30 credits into debt. 30 credits into debt. My ship is blown up. I've lost all my illegal cargo. I really shouldn't have been smuggling that early in the game. But you live, you learn. Hey, it's our buddy, the Federation Enforcer. Luckily, my ship and my cargo aren't illegal. I don't want to attack him. So, thing is, I could attack him, which would flip him to hostile. So that would actually increase my score at the end of the game if I defeated him. Otherwise, I'm just going to get my ship blown up. I'm not going to attack him. A pirate, conveniently enough. I don't have any illegal cargo. I could still attack him if I wanted to get this bounty, but then there's going to be an angry pirate in the deck. Wonderful, a mercenary. It's a shame the bounty on your head is so high, but we're willing to be reasonable. So if I just bribe him 10 credits, I get the peaceful option, which is neutral. He attacks immediately unless I pay the bribe. My debt is fully maxed out, so I actually don't have the option to bribe him. So let's try to run away. Okay, so I got the success card. So one of the cards in the deck has success and one has fail. They do two things. One is, yeah, that was a great shuffle. Success means that you, the player, just win either the speed or the combat contest, and failure means you just lose it. The little thing in the armor means at success, that means that the other ship's armor is just 0 for the rest of or hull is just 0 for the rest of the combat. Under failure, it means that your armor is just 0 for the remainder of the combat. It's sort of like critical weakness, critical stuff happening. So success means that I can choose to just evade if I want, or I can push my luck and keep fighting. It just means that because I've won the speed, I can choose to either fight him or not. I am going to take this gift from the random generation gods, and I will not keep fighting this mercenary. So I'll discard both cards and go to Ganymede, which is a rebel starport. So let's see, I could do a delivery to Mars, but the deposit is 23 credits, which I couldn't afford at all. There's some cheap stuff, so let's visit the market. Food, fuel, and industrial goods are available. Industrial is cheap at 5 credits. Fuel is cheap at 2 credits, and food is just normal at 2. So minerals are also 2 lower, and high-tech goods are 4 lower. I'm gonna buy the fuel and the industrial goods for 7. So if I wanted to play it safe, which I totally should, food and minerals aren't valuable or illegal. Industrial, fuel, and tech are valuable goods, so pirates want them, and then contraband goods are illegal, so the feds want them. So this is dumb of me to spend 7 credits on these, but I've already seen a pirate and I've already seen a fed, so what could go wrong? Okay, so hit Mercury. Industrial goods are normal priced and fuel is normal priced. So I might make enough profit that I could afford the deposit. I could afford the deposit on this contract to deliver valuable goods to an independent starport. All right, let's visit it. Okay, food is 3 more expensive. Don't care about that. So fuel and industrial together is 12. So discard both of these. Go up to 15 credits. This is a really poor game for me. Go up to 12 credits. So I have 15 now, and I can afford the deposit on this rush delivery. One of the things I'm still trying to work out is whether I want you to be able to buy goods and accept a contract, or whether you have to decide. It's a little wonky because I cannot actually buy this commodity with minerals and accept this contract because they're the same card. So regardless, I'm going to accept this contract to do a rush delivery to an independent starport. I'm going to put my 14 credit deposit down, so now I have a single credit to my name. I do not have 2 credits to rub together. Put that in my cargo hold. This card I'm discarding is a pirate, so that I think I'm actually okay because I saw the other pirate earlier in the deck. There's 2 pirates, 2 feds, 5 merchants or mercenaries, and then 9 starports. Okay, so a fed, it's not illegal, so I'm going to discard the fed. Merchant buys and sells tech for 9 credits. I can't afford it, don't want to attack him. Titan, I need to get to an independent starport. Titan is outlaw. So I could land on Titan and do stuff. So this is interesting. If I was buying goods from a merchant, because when you buy goods from a merchant, you don't splay the deck. it doesn't like use up any extra time because you're just exchanging goods in space. But if I were to land on Titan, I'd be burning an extra 2 cards because it's market size 2. So with my luck, those would be one of the independent starports I need to hit. So even though I kind of want to land on Titan, I'm going to discard it. Merchant Bulk Trader, I'm going to wave goodbye to him. Mars, independent. Okay. So now that I've reached Mars, I don't have to actually land to complete this contract. I believe. I might have to check the rules. It might be either. I either do or don't have to land at the starport to discard this. I'm going to say I don't, and then I'm going to look up the rules later, and it's probably going to say I do. So I'm going to get my deposit back either way. So I'm going to go back up to 15 credits. Now I can either flip the contract over. Basically, I can take the money or take goodwill and favor from the good people of Mercury. I really, really need the money, but if I was going for score and had enough money, I would start completing contracts to flip them instead and slowly build up friendly starports in the deck. So we're just going to take the money. So I'm going to discard it, keeping it on the neutral side. So it was 19, so 19 and 15 is probably 34. This credit tracker makes me sad because it only goes up to 60, so if you're getting more than 60 credits, you can't really use it, but I haven't had a chance to redesign it so that it has, 10s, 1s, and 100s. Ideally, it'd be like 1 to 30 on one side, and then 1s, 10s, and 100s on the other. Okay, so I've completed that. Now I can decide if I want to land at Mars or not. It's market size 3, so it's going to use up a good chunk of the rest of the game. Also, or rest of the round. Also, friendly starports have more services available. So even though all I can do at Mars right now is repair, if they were friendly with me, maybe there's a shipyard I could go to. Let's see. There are 3 goods in the market, food, tech, and contraband, that are lower than average prices, and I can always buy minerals. So let's... Also, even though I have 34 credits, I'm 30 credits in debt, so I'm only at 4. I'm only 4 credits up, and I'm gonna have to pay 5 at the end of the year. So let's visit the market. What the heck? Every modifier down here makes stuff more expensive. Fuel is more expensive, contraband is more expensive, and minerals are more expensive. And I can buy minerals, food, industrial goods, or fuel. Let's see. Food is cheap. I think that's... Is that it? Yeah. Only food is cheap. I can also take this thing, delivery to rebels, payout 11 credits, and deposit is 14. Then that takes up 2 slots in my hold. Or it takes up 2 cargo holds. Even though it's not illegal or valuable cargo, it's still somewhat risky because there are mercenaries in the deck after me, and because it's taking up 2 spots, it's bumping my speed way, way down. So I probably don't want to take that. I think I just want to get the food for 3. Yeah. So food for 3, down to 31. And then discard everything else. And it's our friend, the hostile contact, the mercenary, the rookie. There's a bounty out on your ship. We might look the other way if you make it worth our while. And he wants 7 credits. Attacks immediately unless they pay the bribe. So he's also flying a shuttle. He has a hull of 1. Which is interesting because I thought I gave him all base speed of 2. Anyway, he has a hull of 1, speed of 3, combat of 2. I don't know. I feel like for solitaire games, I need some way to like put up options and like pull the audience. I don't know. I could run, or I could just give him a bribe. I'll split the difference. I'll try to run, and if it doesn't work, hopefully I haven't taken enough hits that I can just surrender and pay the bribe and it'll be fine. This is kind of I won't say the rare case, but if there aren't enough cards in the deck to do combat, you reshuffle. If there weren't enough cards in the deck to do the market, markets are closed and you just reveal as many as you can. So I'm going to try to run, so I'm going to set my ship and my food to my side. If I were, I don't know, on a train or something, I'd just be setting that on my lap. Okay. I think with 31 credits and being 30 in debt, if I retired, assuming I had a trade into my ship is 5, so best I could do would be like 6 credits times however many cards in the deck are flipped. One thing that's interesting is sometimes you want more friendly starports or hostile contacts because that's worth more than just taking straight credits because it's boosting that multiplier. All right. Okay. So, just for the heck of it, even though I shuffled, I'm still not looking at this top card. I'm sliding it down. Okay, so I have a +4. So with speed of 3 -1, speed of 2, +4 against the, so that's 6 against the mercenary's speed of 3. I have a faster speed and I can run. One thing that I also didn't mention is if you win speed, you have the option to board the other ship, and you can, if boarding is a slightly different combat calculation, and if you're successful, you can, if it's a merchant, ransom the ship, or you can, if your ship is big enough, you can take the other ship and put it in your cargo hold and sell it for scrap. You can also just blow up the ship and take the cargo, and you can also take the ship as your own. I don't want to do boarding combat, I just want to run away, because I got that +4. So I'm going to do that. So that means the year ends. So the first thing you do at the end of the year is the loan shark. So with 31 credits, I actually have enough to pay my loan in full. And then for my fees, I would take out another loan. So I'll give it another shuffle. One thing I've noticed when playing this game, kind of as you point out, Brian, if you're just doing the in your hand shuffle, sometimes you'll get runs of cards. So say if you sell 2 contrabands together, unless you're thoroughly shuffling, they'll kind of stay next to each other in the deck. So I've started to do the riffle shuffle just to kind of break up those runs. Okay, so I am going to pay off my loan in full. So the cards of the deck that are still angry at me. Collection people never stop coming after you. You can think of it like I've paid off the initial thing, but not the late fees. So the late fees are basically those bribes. Collection people are bad. I've known people who have just been hounded by collection people for years. So that's replicated in this lighthearted space trading game where there are angry, well-armed collection people. So I've paid off my loan in full, so I don't flip the next one hostile, although there are still ones that are angry at me. Also, one thing is, because I didn't bribe this one, he's still angry at me. Like, I successfully ran away, but my life is harder. Paid off my loan in full. I can do my yearly fees, and then I can choose to retire. Okay, so let's go into debt again. Get another 10 credits, so up to 11, and then pay 5. So we're down to 6 credits, and we have one thing of food in there. Give it a shuffle, and then so before I start the next year, I should ask: does anybody have any questions about this? I know I've kind of brushed over some stuff, and I'm kind of doing a lot of hand waving. So, are there any questions before I start another year? And is there anything that people want to see? So, I don't know, does anybody want to see upgrading your ship or buying a new ship? Combat, piracy. I can also fudge the game, so give myself more money or a better ship to kind of like demonstrate that. Oh, but also advance the year, so it is year 6. All right. I'm going to assume no questions, but let's try another year and maybe retire and see how well we can do with our 6 credits. I know I've talked to some people doing playtesting. They're like, if they have a couple bad years in a row, they just want to retire and start a new game once they've dug themselves into a hole. I enjoy digging myself out of a horrible hole, so this is actually fun to me. But some people would just be like, yeah, I got blown up and I lost my cargo. Like I don't even want to keep playing. So it's up to you. One thing I really want to do is make a score pad for this game, because I'm always forgetting what my scores were, or how many years my career was. So I'd like to do that. I think I also talked about doing incorporating the number of years that your career was into your score. Like your score is credits plus years times your renown, so that even if you didn't have a lot of money, if you had a seasoned long career, it still sort of shows up in your score. So after a 30-year career, so if it was year 30 and you were 30 credits in debt, it would be 0 times your renown would be your final score. Advanced concepts. All right. Let's see. Let's get a little money and then put an upgrade on the ship. And actually, we could just go further into debt. So Titan does upgrades, has repair, and legal. So I only took 10 credits in debt. And there's no shipyard here. But let's tweak our ship a little bit. So let's see. We could make it better for cargo hauling, so add to the cargo. We could make it better for like smuggling and our combat and add to the speed. We could make it better at the actual shooting part and add to the combat, or we could make it more resilient and add to the hull. So what should we do? We've got sort of 4 things we can upgrade. One thing is all ships have this little tiny gear symbol, or like these 2 tiny double gears. That's how much upgrade space is available in the ship. So to upgrade your hull by 1 costs 1 upgrade spot, and that makes your speed go down by 1. To upgrade speed and combat only costs that 1 slot. To upgrade your cargo, though, we need 2 slots. So the reverse of all of these cards, you can downgrade, but downgrades are less efficient. So for example, if I wanted to upgrade my cargo, I could downgrade speed and combat to get a half space each, which would then give me the 2 total to then upgrade my cargo. So we would be we'd be able to hold 3 cards of cargo, which would make it better for trading. But it would have like speed 2, combat 0. So Brian says more pew pew, so let's upgrade the combat. So if we upgrade the combat by 1, that just costs our 1 slot. The upgrade cost is on here. Oh my god. Okay. The cost to upgrade combat is 6 credits. Anyway, first thing we need to do is land on Titan. In future versions, I'm thinking of replacing this flavor text with actually an event that happens, and then based on these cards, whether people are friendly or not friendly, that'll essentially show icons, and then those icons may or may not trigger that event. So, for example, if people were angry at me if I landed on Titan, there could be an event that says, if there were any hostile icons revealed in the market, this thing triggers, which is, you get mugged for your money or something. Not something too silly, but that would give the starports more flavor. Anyway, so we've landed on Titan. I could upgrade the ship and then sell the goods. Food is actually... Oh, goodness. So food is actually base price of 6, which is high. Titan needs food. It's, way the heck out there. It's hard to grow stuff on I think it has like a sulfuric atmosphere. It's also really cold. Yeah, stuff doesn't grow on Titans. They want food. And we have the modifier +3. So just this one thing which I bought for 3 credits is selling for 9. So I'm making a 6 credit profit. So my credits have doubled to 12. Let's upgrade combat. So the combat upgrade, I'm actually just going to stick behind here. That one slot, I have one available. So it shows upgrade of 1. So our combat is now 2, which is maybe enough to do basic piracy. One thing is because the weakest merchants have been converted into mercenaries, the only available targets to do piracy against are actually going to be the harder merchants, but whatever. Also, our cargo hold is now empty, so we will be faster in combat. And we didn't have to go further into debt to do this. Huzzah! Okay, so I'll put the upgrade cards away. They're actually fancier ships, but in combat we could also say, you know, if we're actually faster than the ship we're attacking, we could try to board it and take it over. So that's an option. Because we want to do piracy, we're not going to buy anything here, so let's discard Titan and see what we run into. A Federation Enforcer, he would care if we were legal. Now, one thing is it's, again, not on the cards, and it would be nice if it were. There are a couple things that flip you illegal. One is actually defeating a merchant. But also, I think just attacking them and running away. Or if you attack them and they get away, you'll flip illegal. If you attack them and they blow up, they'll flip to the hostile mercenary side, and you'll get flipped illegal. And then in which case, Mr. Fed would care. He currently doesn't, so we'll discard him. We've hit Ganymede. Suddenly there's just no ships that I'm encountering. Ganymede has no services. But if we completed this contract of a delivery to Mars, or just gave them 2 minerals, which they want, minerals are high. So if we just gave them 2 cards of minerals, they'd be friendly, and we'd get services. But Ganymede just has a big no services next 600 million miles sign. So Phobos. So Ganymede and Phobos are neighbors, moons of Jupiter. Yeah, moons of Jupiter. Phobos repairs, offers a bulk delivery to the feds. Gives 6 credits per cargo. I have to pay a deposit of 5 per cargo, so I would get a total of 12. Even though we're a pew-pew pirate, that's right, they do know we're armed brain. Once you've just angered a whole bunch of merchants, it's hard to get the easy prey. Let's take this bulk delivery, and I can show how bulk deliveries work. So this fills up my whole hold. I wouldn't be able to accept this if I had any cargo. Actually, sorry, market size 1, so I do need to land to actually accept a contract. So it doesn't affect anything now, but in the future when there are those events, there will be a risk like, oh, I want to land to buy stuff, but it could trigger this bad or this good thing at this planet. The idea would be on the friendly side of starports, the events are maybe a little better, maybe not so much. Okay, so we'll take this bulk delivery to the Federation, discard the other card that we saw, and it's a pirate. We don't have any valuable goods. One thing I'm considering is marking some of the ships as valuable, kind of like the Federation's cares about illegal ships, so that if you have this really swanky ship, pirates might just attack you because they want your ship. So that would be kind of a thing that would make it slightly riskier to have really nice ships, is that you're going to have to start fending off pirates more often. It depends, but we'll see. But yeah, so pirate doesn't care about us in our little rust bucket, so we'll discard him. Mercury is a Federation. Oh, I should have paid my 5 credit deposit for each cargo hold. So down to 2 credits. So we've reached the Federation planet. I did say before that currently you don't need to land to complete your contract. The people meet you in space or something like that. So I can either get the 12 credits or I can flip it to this friendly side. So on the friendly side, they really want advanced industrial goods. They'll pay 18 for them. And I can buy advanced fuels. To really start trading in these advanced goods, you need to start flipping multiple starports friendly, and you can make these loops. The way the advanced goods work is they're all an advanced version of other goods. They all have this plus sign after them. If all starports have an advanced good price at the bottom, if you have an advanced good available in the market, or if you have one in your ship and you don't see the advanced price, then they just buy or sell for the base price. So these advanced fuels, if I were buying them at Phobos, they would actually only cost 2 credits. Because it's not shown anywhere in the market, so you just use the space price. That's sort of to represent like these like high value trade routes, and it means that upgrading starports is kind of your sort of your end game for traders. But let's just take the money. So we'll return that, get our 10 credit deposit, and then get our 12 credits. So we're now at 24 credits, and we are only 10 credits in debt. So we can decide if we want to land or not. So we have a whole bunch of money. We could, say, upgrade our ship further. I mean, 24 isn't a whole lot, but we could go further into debt and get an even nicer ship, even though we did just pay money to upgrade. I might not have paid for that upgrade, and this is maybe how I get the name Cheatin' Steve sometimes. Let's pretend that I did pay for the upgrade, but this is maybe an asterisk game. Let's skip Mercury. Hostile contact, mercenary, rank 2. Okay, so luckily, Brian suggested we get more pew-pew. We have had to arm ourselves in response to the mercenaries that are angry at the fact that we didn't pay our loans back. I'm not sure if that puts us in the wrong or them in the wrong. They shouldn't be violent towards us. Okay, it's a shame the bounty on our head is so high, but they're willing to be reasonable for 10 credits. We just had to do a lot of work to get that 10 credits, so I'm not... okay, Brian says I didn't pay for it, so let's bump down to 18. I think that maybe has a rip in the space-time continuum. I think I would not have been able to afford the deposit I wouldn't have been able to afford the deposit on that bulk cargo without going into debt. So let's flip to... Thanks, Brian. So let's flip to this side and then bump up to 28. So we're further in debt, but we went back in time and paid for the both the upgrade and the deposit. Cool. Okay. So he is coming after us. Let's do the speed check. So the thing about the speed check is it's you trying to get a speed advantage after which you could, say, try to board them or run away or something. So even if I do want to fight him, I still want to do this speed check to see if I have the option. So if I win the speed check, I can see the hits that are revealed, and I could decide to escape anyway, or I could decide to fight. So you still have some options. It's not just speed check equals runaway. So let's check. Okay. Our speed is 3, nothing in our hold. The number is -3. And there are currently a total of 2 hits that will be applied. So even if the next card is a 0, so if the hits equal your hull, you end up damaged. If it's under, you're okay, and if it's over, you're defeated. So with the 2 hits here, even if the next card is a 0, I'll be damaged. If it's a 1, 2, or a 3, and I lose combat, we would get blown up. The mercenaries' combat is 3. Ours is now 2. So the odds are not in our favor to win. But let's try. If I had one speed, my options would be I could run away, or I could attempt to board. Because I have to either surrender or fight. I really don't want to pay the 10 credits. So, and we have 28, but it's with our debts, 20 credits. That would actually put us in the red again. And let's take the risk. Okay, so -1. Our combat is 2. -1, it puts it at 1 against his 3 means we lose, and then these 3 hits are applied to our hull of 2, which means we are defeated. It's 1 year of floating in space / being in the hospital. Our ship and all the upgrades are discarded. We discard the cards we saw, and then we either decide to replace it, pay the deductible, or retire. I think it's probably a good time to retire. This is not the luckiest pilot in the spacebar. I kind of wish we had named our pilot. Okay, so the nice thing is if your ship explodes, you don't have to pay fees. Let's see. So 28 credits. Oh, so the loan shark does actually apply when you retire. So, or no, loan shark doesn't. Actually, I should write this down. Loan shark shouldn't apply when you retire. You are just, well, your debt is calculated into your score anyway. So it's if you could just choose not to pay your debt, it would flip another card. Your debt would still be incorporated, and your score would go up. So no loan shark when retiring. Okay. So let's figure out how many friendly or hostile cards are in the deck. We did not flip any starports. Okay, so don't have a trade-in for a ship because it blew up. So credits minus loans is 8. Times 2 is 16. So, yep, our final score is 16. And if I check the rules, there's a chart in these wonderful rules, which I will add to the broadcast description. And these rules actually only cover buying and selling cargo. The next iteration that I put up, which is partway done when I was at Essen, will include the contracts, and then the next iteration will include all these rules for combat, and then I think the one after that will be ship upgrading. Okay, so game end and scoring. Our score was between 11 to 20, so our rank is pilot with our score of 16. The higher score ranks, let's see, it goes citizen, pilot, free agent, entrepreneur, mercenary, free trader, tramp captain, merchant, privateer, and the highest rank, star hustler for 8. If your score is higher than 881, you get the rank of star hustler. These ranks aren't tuned, so the original name for this game was, I think, something along the lines of Star Hustler. This was a spinoff from another design I had, which was basically citadels, but all the roll cards were actually planets or starports that you went to, and when you went to one, you could buy or sell goods. So that prototype was called Star Hustler, and this was sort of a spinoff, so it was called Star Hustler Solitaire or something. So even though I changed the name to Han Solo, that's my little mini homage to the earlier prototype. which I never actually played because I was in the middle of doing some other designs and it was but yeah, I still want to play the game Star Hustler, which haven't actually gotten to the table. But yeah, so our score is not Star Hustler. It is Pilot. Score of 16. All right. Let's. Okay. I guess that's it for this game. We didn't actually successfully do any piracy. Didn't take over any ships. Didn't. I guess we did complete some contracts. We didn't get any starports friendly. We didn't buy or sell any advanced goods. What else didn't we do? I think. We didn't buy a new ship. Our ship was never turned illegal, so we never had to pay money to kind of get a new registration number. But yeah, if there are any questions, I would be happy to answer them. The rough status of the game is I am trying to get the print and play rules to match what we currently played, because there are currently a couple, large chunks of rules behind. There's some folks out there who have blind copies of the game, so who some of them got them months ago and still haven't had rules. So I need to get those done. And I think what's next is once those rules are up to date, I can put in essentially an event system. Probably the closest analog would be something like Choose Your Own Adventures. Pretty much, I want you to encounter a card at the end of every year, or at the beginning of every year, which says if certain things happen, you maybe have choices, and those are dependent on which cards in the deck are friendly or angry at you. So, and then each of those event cards, as your career goes from the early to the mid to the late stages, those events get sort of harsher or more severe. So the longer your career is, the kind of riskier it gets. All those event cards, if depending on what you did, say there's some people that are after you, either pay us or will be angry, say you don't pay them, those event cards would flip over and go into the deck. So say there is a mega angry pirate, that would go into the deck based on the results of the events. So that is where you'd start to actually change the composition of the deck, which one of the things I found after playing it a lot is, there's always 2 feds, there's always 2 pirates, there's always 5 merchants. So I'm really interested to start putting in secret bases and, rebel ships, because there's no rebel ships currently. Anyway, that's something that I really want to do, but have lagged behind because of just trying to actually get the rules done and get the basic gameplay tested. The couch is currently 2 dogs, a cat, and a Tiffany, just all sleeping. Apparently I put people to sleep with my live stream. If you've been watching and you've stuck through this, thank you for watching. I enjoyed it. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy playing. I know this isn't as engaging as some of the other games maybe we've played. Also maybe a little hard to follow because it's a tiny card game. But yeah, thank you for watching. And I will post the picture to Twitter of the entire house asleep. All right. Good night, Internet. Thank you for watching this stream. Hopefully next stream, Tiffany will be conscious, and we will do some games. So, take care. Oh, and if you do want the actual rules to Han Solo, I will put a link in the doobly-doo once we post this video, which will have a link to the rules and the print and play if you want to try it out.